I finished painting my dining room. I have to do the ceiling next and clean the ceiling fan. But I wanted to see if this would show up. It's just a reflection. Oh, look like a UFO. It's just a reflection. Okay, my name's Samantha Paradina, and I'm doing a video on Pizzagate because I've been a big fat chicken and not done one because I don't want to get my YouTube channel shut down, and that's not really my focus. I want to talk about spiritual things and certain scriptures God's shown me. And narcissism and my life. My life hasn't been, I was never part of a Pizzagate type abuse, but it had other secret abuses on institutional levels like that. And unlike that little mirage you saw of a light reflection, that's not real. It's a real reflection, but it's not a solid object. That's a reflection from my light. Pizzagate is real. And it's very obvious to reasonable thinking people, if you look at the facts and the information available, that it should be investigated, and there's no reason why it wouldn't be investigated. Okay. Before the WikiLeaks even came out, just the fact that that restaurant is in DC and has strange artwork on the walls isn't in very good condition and is such a high influence in our movers and shakers. That's a reason for a story in the first place, that it's this weird hole-in-the-wall restaurant, but the owner of it is the 49th most powerful person in DC. That is basis for a journalistic investigation in itself, just to research who is this powerful person and how are they influencing our nation and why have they been to the White House 5 times. That is a legitimate news story all by itself. So why are people all up in arms about, oh, this poor man has attention drawn to him? Well, when you're in the public eye and you make yourself the 49th most powerful person in DC, people are going to want to know about you because they have a legitimate reason to want to know about you. What is your influence on these politicians and these movers and shakers in our nation's capital? Inquiring minds want to know, like the magazine says. And we have a right to know if you're influencing politicians. So then WikiLeaks comes out with hacked emails from John Podesta, which I would call him John Pedosta. WikiLeaks has over 10 years, I believe, reputation of never releasing anything that was a lie. So they have a great reputation for that. John Podesta was hacked because he fell for a phishing scam and clicked on something on his computer, and they were able to hack his emails. And they were released at a crucial time because people who had this information realized he's Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, or he was Bill Clinton's chief of staff, and he's using known pedophile language in his emails. And he associates with businesses that have known pedophile symbolism on their logos and business signs. Now, this is not fantasy. The FBI has researched human trafficking, has researched pedophile and child sex rings, and they've discovered languages. There's a handkerchief code language. There are symbols and logos that represent man-boy love, or boy lover, or little girl lover, or baby lovers, because there are people who like to have sex with little children, or people who like to have sex with babies. And there are people who like to kill little babies and eat them. And there are people who like to have sex and rape children and then murder them when they're finished, so there's no evidence and no one can speak about it. And that's one main reason I'm speaking about this, to give a voice for those who don't have a voice, because even though I've been through severe abuses in my life, there are people who've been through worse, and they don't even have a YouTube channel, and they don't have a computer, and they don't have internet access or any way to speak the truth. So I'm adding my voice to the cacophony of voices out there saying Pizzagate is real and it needs to be investigated. The name Pizzagate came from the FBI language that they put out. The FBI discovered the language that's used by human traffickers. And the triangle symbol within a triangle symbol, that's for the boy lover, and the heart within a heart, or the double-ended hearts, that's for the girl lover or baby lovers. And a bunch of other code language of pizza and pasta and hot dogs and cheese, meaning little boy or little girl or little baby to have sex with. And this is a well-known thing by bad people on the dark internet. It's not even up for debate. It's kind of laughable that us naive, honest people are even questioning, could this be real? I don't know. And they're all jerking off, thinking how great and powerful they are, that they can have sex and steal people's kids, and we don't even know they exist, or that such evil exists in the world. Excuse me. My pasta's finished cooking. So Pizzagate is real, and it was brought to light by the WikiLeaks that were released emails of John Podesta and Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin and Anthony Weiner. And Anthony Weiner's laptop has been, I think, confiscated by the New York police, and they have it. And he had a file called Insurance, which was secret information he had to blackmail powerful people to keep himself safe when he's known to be sexting underage people pictures of his naked private parts. And his wife Huma, who is Hillary Clinton's personal aide and close friend, is Muslim and involved with terrorist organizations in her family. It's very bad, you guys. It's very bad. It's not a joke. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not people just being bigoted and making up lies about a pizza shop owner and poor him. No, we're justified to say we want answers. Why does your business have pedophile logos on it? Why do you all of your concerts with erotic and vulgar performers say children of all ages welcome? That's child negligence and harm, and contributing to the delinquency of minors to even let little children be around hard drinking, smoking, cussing, vulgar, sexually suggestive and sexually overt comedy material. Children aren't allowed in R-rated movies. How are you going to let them in an R-rated comedy act or musical act in your pizza restaurant? This is a crime. And you're blatantly advertising on your posters, children of all ages welcome. Okay, so this is 8 minutes. I just wanted to make a short video to add to everyone else's videos. I would refer you to David Seaman and to Reality Calls and a host of other YouTube channels out there. They have the pictures. They have copies of the WikiLeaks emails. They have the code language and the pictures all put down there for you. I'm just adding my voice to say I concur with them. These are facts that this is a known code language for child trafficking, and these restaurants had these symbols on them, and these restaurants had bizarre practices, and in their emails they say, what do you think I'd do better playing dominoes on pizza or on pasta? Dominoes is S&M, bondage sexual, and pasta's babies and pizza's little girls. So he's saying, you think I'll have more fun doing S&M with a baby or with a little girl? That's exactly what that means. And they have not come out and refuted it, and they have not said one thing about it because it's the truth. And they can't sue anyone for slander or libel because it's true. And there's satanic elements to this, in that they're associated with this lady, Maria Abramovich, who says she does spirit cooking and it's all artwork. But she's been quoted as saying, well, in public it's artwork, but in private it's my real religion and it really means something. So they really do child sacrifices, and they really do drink breast milk and penis milk and vaginal blood and child blood. And they make weird cookies out of it and eat it and sacrifice children to Moloch. Because a chicken is also a name for a baby, because they kill babies and cook them and eat them. Just to say these words out of my mouth is vile, and these people really do this stuff, and no one's paying attention. And everyone thinks, oh, I don't want to talk about that. It sounds creepy or sounds weird. And we're all going to be accountable before God one day if we stood for righteousness or if we turned our heads and turned a blind eye. These people, in their own words, have condemned themselves, and no investigation is being done. Why? Okay, so the WikiLeaks emails show them in their own words saying they sacrifice a chicken in the backyard to Moloch, which means a little baby, that they have artwork in their homes that are pedophile artwork and serial murderer statues in their homes. They have artwork on the walls of the pizza restaurant that says shut up and fuck, and pictures of just vile things and weird. It's been painted over and changed now, but there are pictures of it on the internet. They have a secret back room and then a secret back room. Maybe this one restaurant doesn't have a basement. The one right next to it does have a basement. And Buck's is also owned by the same owner. And the restaurant next to that is also owned by, it's Besta Pizza, has a pedophile logo on it, which they removed. Across the street from the street, and also the Red Fox, is a satanic type of name and symbolism. Something about the letters adding up to 666, and Red Fox being a symbol in Satanism. Across the street from Comet Ping Pong, which ping pong is where someone's having sex. I believe, I haven't looked it up, but I think it's where they're having anal or vaginal sex and oral sex at the same time and bumping the person back and forth. Ping pong is very crude and rude, and these perverse circles of people who do deviant, abhorrent sexual practices. Across the street from Comet Ping Pong Pizza is a Haitian child help group that is probably funded with taxpayer dollars on some grant. I forget the name of it. I'm not doing this to put out all the proof because it's all out there. I'm telling you, go research it. You need to know, and we all need to speak up and say Pizzagate is real, needs to be investigated, and this is wrong. We as a nation do not agree it's okay to have sex with underage children. It's not okay to practice satanic practices. You can't say that's an okay religion. If it violates the Constitution, you can't do it. So you can play your little satanic games and say we're doing this fake and we're having dress up and pretending we're vampires. But when you actually kill people and drink their blood, you go to jail. And why aren't people going to jail is because there are judges who are involved in this. There are policemen who are involved in this. There are politicians and elected officials involved in this. There are people involved in child services at the highest level and human trafficking, supposedly helping to stop it at the highest level, who are involved in this. There are hotlines for reporting. That's why I won't go on internet sites to get help for people with DID or get help for people with mind control, because the help sites are abuse sites. And they just stem the bloat. They just find out how the leaks are getting out and they stifle them. Look at David Seaman had his YouTube channel defunded and he had his PayPal frozen, and he's been fighting just to stay on YouTube. And another reality calls was given strikes, and she left YouTube and went to another place because she was about to be kicked off YouTube. The hotlines to call about missing and exploited children often are staffed with people who will report who's about to escape, and they'll be killed before they can get the help that they need. This is why I'm speaking out, because nobody knows about this because all the victims get killed, or so terrified beyond belief they can't speak, or so emotionally crippled and damaged that they're unable to form the sentences to explain what happened to them, and no one would believe them anyway because it's so bizarre that people actually do this stuff. So the Haitian child relief group is across the street from there. And where these restaurants are all situated is above unused subway tunnels. And it's right down the street from the White House. Also in the emails was orders that Barack Obama, who is Barry Soetoro, that he ordered over $60,000 worth of hot dogs from Chicago. And the White House has a policy of not having food from outside sources. And who spends that much money on hot dogs? It's obviously he was buying young boys for a private party. This is evidence that needs to be investigated, and it's not fake news, and it's not crazy. What's crazy is these psycho sick people do this stuff and get away with it. This is the truth. What else about Pizzagate? There have been other restaurants. So there have been other restaurants like the ESP Pizza restaurant, and a lot of pizza restaurants are involved in this, I do believe, because it's a cover. They use innocent things supposedly to cover for their vile activities. I'm saying nothing more than what was said in their own emails that they said with their own words and hasn't been investigated, and it's proven that their words were used ridiculously and frivolously and obviously did not mean pizza or hot dogs. It meant this exposed code that the FBI has officially reported on, that it means child trafficking and child pedophilia. And y'all need to know about it and research it, because we're going to stand before God one day and be accountable to tell the truth. And what did we do with what we knew? At least tell the truth about it, and at least raise your voice to say there needs to be an investigation, and why isn't this being investigated? Besides that, Hillary Clinton already released classified material and wasn't prosecuted for it because it was an accident, because she was an idiot. Really? So we should have an idiot for president? And this is not a political video or statement at all. I'm saying, where is common sense? By the rule of law and by the facts that are available in these people's own words, this should be investigated. And there are people being held in basements, and there are children being held in subway tunnels, and there are people being murdered and eaten by these sick satanic people. And it needs to stop. And I just pray right now, God, that you would raise up warriors, you would raise up heroes, you would raise up people with the strength and the fortitude and the ability and the clout and the power and the money and the wisdom to be able to combat and defeat these evil forces in our government and in our society. In Jesus' name, amen.